Hello everyone, Cap here and welcome back to some more Mechabellum. I had quite a close match versus a strong opponent, and in this one I ended up playing somewhat of a comfort strategy that is not particularly fancy, but it is really effective. Let me show you. I'm starting as Rhino Specialist with Fangs and Phoenixes, and my opponent is Marksman Specialist with Fangs, Sledgehammers and that level 3 Orange Boy. Oh, by the way, in this match, once again, I picked the Rhino Specialist. I keep trying it over and over now. I really like the tempo it gives you, round 3, when the Rhino comes out, even in a standard setup like this. It kind of forces your opponent to build an answer to that Rhino. And I'm not particularly set on that Rhino, so eventually I could just end up selling it and get 300 credits, and my opponent is kind of stuck with the answer that was built just to answer that Rhino. So I've kind of grown to like the Rhino Specialist more at this point. And my setup here, kind of standard. Added some crawlers behind the towers, Fangs left, right, and the ones in the middle I pull a bit back so they arrive a little bit late. And Phoenixes in the back to support, hopefully, the Fangs and Crawlers taking out the chaff, but it's not ideal. If they do though, the Phoenixes could take on the Sledgehammers and everything, but yeah, right now it's not great. My start here is not very ideal against Fangs in particular. Fangs are the big problem here right now for me. I can't take them out quickly enough, but that's okay. Round 1 is kind of whatever. Mass-produced Phoenix I really like, however, for one it's round 2 and I like to unlock a tier 2 unit. So in this case I'm unlocking Stormcallers. Stormcallers really good here against the Fangs as well as the Sledgehammers for now, and also potentially against the sniper there. But yeah, also mass-produced Phoenix, because I already have 2 packs of Phoenixes, they would get downgraded if I picked up mass-produced Phoenix, so I didn't want to do it here. My opponent though picked up mass-produced Phoenixes and is getting 3 packs already, going into spamming the Phoenixes right away, kind of. They're actually not that great in this scenario at this moment, but over the course of the game, they usually turn out very useful. Also, with the added Phoenixes, my opponent is kind of getting ready for my Rhino as well though. But yeah, this round they get stuck mainly on my Crawlers and Fangs for the most part. Stormcallers are really helping with taking down the chaff quickly. But yeah, still too much here. And by the way, also a problem, kind of. Not a problem, but an upside of the mass-produced Phoenixes. You can buy Phoenixes for 100, but if they survive, they deal 200 damage. So you can actually get damage on the board, so health damage when the round ends, super quickly like that with mass-produced Phoenixes. So it can get very scary very quickly. I'm adding some Mustangs here because Mustangs both help with the chaff clear, which is still kind of a problem right now, taking down the Crawlers and the Fangs quickly, but also obviously really good against the Phoenixes, both to take them down, but also they kind of deal as chaff themselves. So the Phoenixes as well as the level 3 marksmen can kind of get stuck on the Mustangs potentially. And here I'm putting down 1 pack of Fangs in the front to attract the Crawlers from behind the towers. so they kind of get clumped up in the middle. I don't actually have the chaff clear in the middle right now to properly address that, but at least my Stormcallers might have a good time there. If everything is clumped up in the middle, the Stormcallers should be pretty good there. But yeah, when you do this, you probably want some good chaff clear in the middle, so like arc lights, for example. And yeah, crawlers getting missed for the most part. They are just too quick for the Stormcallers. My Rhino going down. Too many Phoenixes already, and the level 3 sniper, of course. Did provide some protection though for a while for the rest of my units. And it's very close here. Might actually be enough though. And yeah, sniper is getting stuck on my fangs, and my Phoenixes can take him out. Also, my opponent protected their both turrets with sentries. Took down one for cheap, so that was 50 credits wasted, more or less. Picking up orbital here, it's too good. Everything is clumped up in the middle, and also there are Phoenixes, so even if barriers come down, the Phoenixes can still get hit in the middle there. And I'm also putting down barriers. Both left and right are good targets for orbital. And I'm also adding another pack of Stormcallers in the middle. Because once again, stuff gets clumped up in the middle, and Stormcallers really good here to take down the Fangs and Sledgehammers and potentially the Crawlers when they get clumped up there as well. And I'm adding some more Mustangs in the middle. Also for the chaff clear as well. As I mentioned last turn, you kind of want something for chaff clear in the middle when you pull the Crawlers with Fangs like that. My opponent did also go for orbital. I should have placed my Mustangs on the right, by the way. So left side is more valuable for orbital than right side, so it was to be expected that my opponent would put it there because of the Rhino. So the Rhino makes the difference, basically. That my left side is more valuable to get targeted by the orbital. And yeah, my Mustangs, they are the newly placed ones. Should have gone on the right side. But now they are also in the orbital, which is really bad. My opponent did barrier in the middle too, by the way, and also put down some mobile beacon crawlers. Kind of glad that I picked up the Stormcallers in the middle as well. Took down the barrier kind of quickly. But yeah, left side got completely destroyed, I think, by the orbital. So this is going to be somewhat of a hard loss. Right side not looking bad though. Actually coming through, and that sentry is going to take down my Mustangs. RIP. But it's okay. I don't mind taking down that sentry with like half a pack of Mustangs. That's okay. My Phoenix is just better. Shot a little bit quicker than my opponent's Phoenixes. But it's not going to be enough, I think. Is it? It is, actually. Never mind. Stormcaller's too good. But the Phoenix still died, though. So, a couple of choices here. Top supply, potentially. Also like Sledgehammer or tank production line. But I would need a giant for that. So not sure. Deployment module could go on the Rhino. Would move it around a bit, but I don't think it makes a huge difference. So I'm mainly considering top supply right now. If it is still worth right now in round 5. And I'm actually skipping. So I did not deem it worthy. I think it was a really close call though. I like to pick it up round 4 if it shows up. Round 5 is like the breaking point. And I feel like I didn't want to risk that economy disadvantage this round. I kind of want to pressure my opponent. And actually now I had exactly the amount of credits that I needed to pick up 2 fortresses with barriers. And that should be very good here. Fortresses to take down the sledgehammers, and the barriers in general just good. Protect my Mustangs and everything. Yeah, my Mustangs on the right, for example, now protected. Otherwise they would have gotten shot already by the sledgehammers quite a bit. But the barrier is definitely helping there. That being said though, still not the greatest chaff clear, just a couple of Mustangs. So the crawlers on the right coming in actually kind of annoying. As well as the backup phoenixes there. Even though they are mass produced with enough numbers, they can take on my fortress. And they took it down actually. Tower debuff, not that great. Especially the phoenixes are, yeah, I don't have any anti-air, rip. So phoenixes making the difference here. And this was kind of bad because I think my opponent did pick top supply. So I am starting to fall behind in economy now. However, I can still pressure more. I'm picking up another fortress and I got the anti-air upgrade. So those mass-produced phoenixes should not be a big problem anymore. This turn maybe for a little bit, but probably also already not anymore. But especially like next turn or the turn after, I will have enough fortresses, so the phoenixes will do nothing. They should get taken down super quickly. And I'm adding some fangs in the bottom right there. They walk in delayed and can tank for my phoenixes in particular on the right side. I also picked up fire, by the way, so this is now Fortress, Mustang and Fire Stormcallers is basically the setup, kind of. So I keep ending up with these 3 units a lot of the time if I want to win, and depending on what my opponent does, obviously. So in this case, Fortresses made a lot of sense because of the sledgehammers. And as also, in addition, the mass-produced phoenixes also kind of made me go Fortress with the anti-air. It's just too good. If the Fortress can answer multiple things at the same time, it's just so much value. My opponent has so many phoenixes now though, 6 packs. And also added Stormcallers. But Stormcallers without fire on my opponent's side. Yeah, anti-air barrages doing some work, taking down phoenixes one after the other. And with the phoenixes gone, there's not a ton of damage left on the board to take on massive health on my fortresses. Stormcallers still a bit annoying, but I also do have Stormcallers myself, and also I still have phoenixes, so they can take down the Stormcallers kind of safely. And yeah. And I am picking up some anti-missile turrets just to keep those Stormcallers in check. I don't want them to deal massive amounts of damage to my fortresses. So just adding 1 each side to... I don't need to fully negate the Stormcallers, but just to remove some of that damage. So my fortresses are not going to die anytime soon. I picked up enhancement module, put it on the fortress on the left, so free upgrade, that's always nice. By the way, I was thinking about doing the economy trick with the enhancement module again, but I did not go for it this game. I just kept it on this fortress, I think, going forward as well. I could have just sold this fortress and then put a level 1 fortress down there again and put the enhancement module on a different unit, so to get multiple times value. And I think it's usually, or not only usually, I think it's every time pretty much, it is the right call to reuse that enhancement module, so you get value every turn. Because this way, so if you put it on a unit like I am now, and you don't get value every turn, because the unit does not level every turn, usually. Anyways, my opponent did go for melting points, and that's the correct answer here, as long as the chaff is taken care of. My opponent does need some more damage for my fortresses, especially now with level 2 fortresses, so melting points are really good. And especially with the additional range, they might lock on quickly enough before my fortresses can get close enough to deal damage to the melting points. And yeah, on the left it worked. Took down my level 2 fortress from a safe distance, and right side now also locked on. So my fortress is kind of getting wrecked now. Melting point, definitely the correct answer here. I still do have some Stormcallers though, and they actually help a lot. Both to potentially still take down melting points, as well as deal with the opponent's Stormcallers. And yeah, right side actually still going down that melting point, and left side as well. And I still have one missile interceptor turret on the left, which is getting bombarded by Stormcallers, and I'm taking down one, and now that one remaining Stormcaller is not able to deal any more damage to my missile interceptor, so it actually survived as well. Parasitic ammo, a very strong item here. Also very expensive though, and I'm not fully sure if I want to pick it up. It is actually really good against melting points, so maybe I should pick it up, but I'm not sure if I'm going to. Unit manufacturing also can get a lot of value, but only obviously if you spam those units. And at this point I'm thinking something else, so I'm skipping actually. I'm hovering over range on the fortresses, because I know range is also very good in this scenario on fortresses. Because if the fortress can lock on to the melting point kind of quickly, then the damage from the especially level 2 fortresses can take down melting points kind of quickly as well. And I'm going for some mobile beacon crawlers myself, also to distract my opponent's Stormcallers. Still considering what I want to do with the big chunk of my money. And I'm adding some more Stormcallers, level 2 Stormcallers by the way. Because they did a lot last turn. So I don't want to rely on my fortresses to deal damage to the melting points, but now I'm actually getting the damage hopefully from Stormcallers, level 2 Stormcallers. They deal quite a lot of damage to giants, especially because giants are so fat that the Stormcallers actually hit basically with all missiles. My opponent got energy absorption on the melting points, potentially to counter fists on the fortresses. Because in a 1v1, if the melting point is locked onto a fortress, without energy absorption, the fortress will actually punch the melting point to death. And with energy absorption though, the melting point will heal through. And yeah, my Stormcallers were good enough here. Even though my fortresses got taken care of by the melting points once again, the Stormcallers were a good choice here. My opponent is not protected against Stormcallers, no anti-missile turrets or anything. So they are very, very helpful here in this scenario. And I'm adding more missile interceptors against my opponent's Stormcallers. By the way, on the right melting point, there is parasitic ammo. And that is actually quite annoying. A lot of crawlers were spawned last turn, and they distracted a lot. And also, those crawlers end up taking care of my Stormcallers as well. So that's actually kind of annoying. EMP was picked by me this turn. Also orbital off cooldown, so a lot of barriers coming down from me, and also I'm trying to disable tag on a lot of my opponent's units, but probably I'm just going to hit some barriers with my EMP. My opponent will probably put down barriers, I'm assuming. And I am adding wasps here. So my opponent doesn't really have good anti-air. Only some fangs and obviously the phoenixes still. And the melting points. And phoenixes and melting points are not great at taking down wasps. And I hope the wasps can buy my other units a lot of time. A third melting point was added by my opponent. The phoenixes are kind of getting destroyed by all my anti-air barrages, so they don't do that much anymore. Melting points still a problem though. Especially the one on the right with parasitic ammo. And it's also level 3 and it's self-healing. So it's kind of a raid boss right now. All fortresses down once again, so it's just my Stormcallers and like 2 Phoenixes. Maybe like 1 or 2 Mustangs were there, but also died now, so it's now Stormcallers versus Stormcallers and that 1 melting point, but Stormcallers actually took it out. Couple of crawlers running around from the parasitic ammo. And actually took down one of my missile interceptor turrets, but the time ran out. And this was that round. I'm going for a speed specialist here. Speed is not bad here for me. Because the fortresses, when they can move in quicker, they might actually be able to get to the melting points and actually deal some damage. My opponent, by the way, went for crawler spawn as well on the melting points, so even more crawlers were on the field, and the crawlers have subterranean, so they are taking a while to die. They don't die to fire by default anymore, so they can run through the fire and everything. This is also kind of a standard strat. The melting points with the crawler spawn seems to be very popular at the moment. Especially with fire Stormcallers, though my opponent does not have fire on the Stormcallers for some reason, not yet at least. And I added more fortresses and I got the fang production on the fortresses, so I'm hoping with the spawning fangs they might be in the way and actually protect my fortresses from the melting points for long enough that with the speed specialist and everything my fortresses can move in and actually deal damage to the melting points. Maybe, we will see. putting down some sentries to quickly take down those crawlers. They're actually quite annoying with the subterranean. And here we go. Photon emission for my opponent. And some mobile beaconed Mustangs in the back for some reason. Not sure what that was about. Everything dies super quickly, and it's once again up to the melting points to clean up everything basically. And they are working on it. However, right side actually my fortress is locked on to the level 3 melting point now. So with the additional chaff from the Fang production and the additional speed from the temporary speed buff as well as speed specialist, my fortresses were actually able to get in quickly enough and kind of rush the melting points and take them down before they could do much else. GG's. So yeah, this was somewhat standard. So I'm basically fortress with some Mustangs and Fang production and fire Stormcallers. My opponent went for the melting points with crawler, spawn, and also some Mustangs, as well as some mech rage sledgehammers. Also mass-produced phoenixes and subterranean blitz crawlers. So kind of a lot. It was standard in a way, but not completely. But yeah, my setup kind of made a lot of sense to go this direction. So I don't just force fortresses and Mustangs or something, but in this matchup it just made so much sense against the sledgehammers and the mass-produced phoenixes to go fortresses. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.